Hello and welcome to the compact version of the Razor program. Today, it's going to be a bit rough. We're doing our leg day, which means that we're doing double kettlebell front squats. Now, if you don't have two kettlebells, that's fine. You can do a goblet squat, you can do a unilateral squat, you can offset train. They don't have to be a matching pair. There is always a workaround. And like I've said to you, or will say to you if you haven't seen the other videos, put any issues into the message boards. It's why there's a community to troubleshoot things with you and for you, or bring the questions to the live conversations, the live calls that we have every single month. So this is the leg day. We're going through a little bit of a warm up. It's really important, especially on a leg day, that you get properly warm, because if you want those main sets, the main working sets, to be proper representations of what a main set is for you, then you have to get properly warm first. Now I'm 39, which means that my knees creak. And if I don't warm them up fully before I squat, I'm going to be paying for it. So I have a little hack, and that is I have to warm up my hamstrings really robustly before I start squatting. And the other thing I have to do before I get into a loaded position at the bottom of a squat is to actually increase the amount of compression that my knees can comfortably take during a squat as part of my warm up. So what I mean by that is we're going to be doing some body weight squats and including a little bit of weight as we go through the squat. We're going to be doing some swings because that's the easiest way for all of us to warm up hamstrings together. So it's going to be a slightly higher swing than we normally do, as more often than not we'll sit into a swing a little bit. Today it's a high swing so that we can hit the hamstrings and get them nice and warm, and then go into an ATG split squat. So to start things off, we're going to go through just 2 rounds of our dynamic warm up to get things nicely moving and mobile. And if you don't have the time for this, then by all means skip it at your own discretion and at your own risk. The leg day requires your body to be really warm, and it's one of the trade-offs you make really when you don't have that long to train. Is sometimes you either have to train lighter because it's not as safe for you to train particularly heavy, or you have to spend longer going through your warm-up and accept that you don't have as long to train with the big weights that you want to use, but you can still expose yourself to the workout with the heaviest weight if you spend that little bit longer going through your warm-up. So the reason why that's here, by the way, is so that when I do start breathing very heavy, I can take this off and put it on a mic stand. Just body weight squat the first 12. Now, each time you squat, I want you to think about the position you want to be in for the squat you have for the day, and start sitting into your squat, driving knees out, using this moment as a bit of a dynamic stretch, just like we did to begin with. So driving into your knees to open up through your hips, driving knees over toes like you would for a squat and pry. You're not just bouncing in and out of these squats. That's 3. I'll call it 3. Keep going to 12. So, like I've said to you before, if you don't have a big selection of kettlebells like I do, you'll start with your lightest kettlebell and move up a little bit if you can, or start with 1 kettlebell and then move to 2 if you can. Otherwise, if you just have 1 kettlebell, nothing wrong with that at all. Start with just 1. Always start with the kettlebell in front of you. For in-depth tutorials, please check out the tutorial module. 3, 4, 5. We're going to 20. Pump into those hamstrings. 10. 2, 3. 5 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now for the ATG split squat, you can use the handle of a kettlebell. You can use the handle of a kettlebell to support your heel to aid in getting a little bit more range of motion through the split squat. And what I mean by that is just by going like this, put your heel on a handle and then go through your ATG split squats, or on a small step, or if you have a slant board like I do like using a slant board for this drill. This is where we start building your knee's ability to go through some more compression for this exercise. This is one of those things that I've done for years as part of my warm-up for most days, not just leg days. And it's stood me in good stead, bearing in mind that I tore my knee in jiu-jitsu many years ago and was told I would need surgery relatively urgently because my knee kept inflating every time I squatted. And I took myself through rehab with no surgery, and here I am. I think that's about 12. So each one of those I was doing a little bit of a pause. The other thing I do is make sure that I'm trying to keep my knee well aligned with my middle toe, so I'm not letting my knee cave in across me. Again, it's part of that potentiation phase of a warm-up, is starting to tell your body where you want it to be in space during the exercises that you're going to be performing. I'm always a little bit unbalanced during this one. This was the bad knee. And as a result, even though I fully rehabbed it, it's still fairly unstable compared to the other one. Very stable in general, but compared to the other one. We're going back into squats. Let's use a lightweight this time. 12 squats, last time through our warm-up. Try and find the position you will be squatting in. Little pause at the bottom. Start waking up your nervous system by being a little bit explosive on the way out. That's my 12 squats. Right, so as I said, I'll be going a little heavier in the swings now. Not much, just a little heavy. Shouldn't really challenge you for a 20 rep swing. It should still be very comfortable. But just that little bit heavier. You know, so much of the warm-up is about waking up your nervous system and beginning to tell it what you're going to be doing, what weights you're going to be shifting. For me, it's a real process to get to the working weight because I feel like I want my body to have felt as many of those weights on the way up as possible so that when I touch the working weight, my nervous system isn't like freaked out. Right, just for these swings, I'm taking the mic off so you don't get all sorts of air noise. 20. 10. Nice high hips to warm up the hamstrings. 15, 5 left. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right, so for a normal workout, normal in length, as this is like an express one, I would spend longer warming up my hamstrings specifically. It's a bit of a, I guess, a hack for a good leg day that if you warm up your hamstrings thoroughly, you get your knees nicely greased and warmed up for the movement. It's such a hack. I just can't believe I didn't know it when I was younger. Before you start squatting, if you're in a gym, do a ton of seated or lying hamstring curls. Thank me later. I'd probably do between 4 and 6 sets. That's 12. Now, just to give you all a way to make this slightly more customized for you and the time you have, if you want more strength gains out of this workout, spend more time on the main set. You don't just have to do 2 rounds. If you want strength predominantly, you don't have to do the EMOM at all. Whereas if you want endurance, calorie burn, which I hate as a goal for a workout, then skew more of the workout towards the EMOM. One more time. I'm going to try and do this in the sort of middle of the road way today. In fact, I'll keep this out so I can squat on it. Again, you don't have to. I just like to bias more of the work onto my quads. During squats, since you get so much hamstring when you swing, plus I want giant quads. So you get the idea here, that if you really want more strength work out of this, spend a bit longer in the warm-up and spend the rest of the time you have available doing sets of double kettlebell front squats. You won't regret it. But if you want balance, then do what we're doing today. And if you want more endurance, more cardio, do more of the EMOM. I'm gonna touch a couple reps at this weight and at the 28s before I use the 32s today for my working weight. In the main Razor program, I use 40s for 6 sets of 5 to 8 these days, but because of the condensed rest period and condensed workout, we go lighter. All right, just a couple reps. So that's the 24s, or 48 kilos total. We go to the 28s. So today we'll be doing 2 main sets with a 2-minute rest period in between and a cluster at the end of the second set, where we'll be using the maximum allowed rest period in a cluster set of 30 seconds. I think in the shoulder day we ended up using 15 seconds, but larger muscle groups, I want to get a bit more volume out of that last phase of the cluster, so a bit longer to rest. One more workup set before I touch the working weight, and you're with me all together for our 2 working sets. So that's 56 kilos on the frame. So my nervous system knows what's on the way. 64. Okay. So, just in case I start banging the microphone with my hands or breathing too heavy for you to actually enjoy this video, I'm going to put the mic on the stand. We've now been training for about 10 minutes, maybe 12. We've got 2 big sets of squats to do, and then an EMOM, and hopefully we get through 3 rounds of the EMOM. And maybe this is slightly over 30 minutes. All the other 30-minute workouts come in at 30 minutes or just less. This might go just over, don't crucify me. But we all want big legs, right? Big, strong legs. All right, about 30 seconds left before we get into the first main set. Anywhere between 8 and 15 reps is your goal. For really in-depth tutorial on the double kettlebell front squat, please check out the tutorials module, which you can find in the classroom tab. So if you hit classroom, scroll down to tutorials, you'll find a double kettlebell front squat video, which goes into a ton of depth. And if I leave anything that you still have a question about, please just ask. 8 to 15 reps, because we're focused on hypertrophy. Ugh. He's always put a bit of fear into me. Front squats. Two more. That hurts. 2 minutes on the clock. Excuse the time beeping. Time starts. 2 minutes. So I got 15. It's not technically failure according to like bodybuilding, but failure according to where I feel my ability to maintain good and safe technique. And going past that point, maybe I had a couple reps, but past there, I would have had significant form breakdown. And then what you get is a massive upswing in the amount of recovery needed for your nervous system, as well as a massive upswing in the risk of injury. So, potentially, no cameras on me, I would have waited in the rack and done an extra rep or two, but that was pretty satisfactory. I'm not going to do that in the second set though, no chance. All right, 50 seconds, a tight 2-minute rest period here, 40 seconds, and we do this again, followed by 30 seconds, followed by as many reps as you've got left. 25 seconds. Ten seconds. 4, 3, 2. Seven. Shit. Come on. 2. No. My hips are going to start sliding forward. 30 seconds. sucked. That was hard. Not the best performance ever. 5, 4, 3, 2. Come on. Whatever you got. Have your heels. Fuck. That was shit, wasn't it? Oh well. Again, the second I stop, I feel like I should have fought through. A couple more reps. That's what I got. Okay, now, realistically, you get as much rest as you need so that you don't start the EMOM with cardio as the limiting factor. Could be 2, maybe 3 minutes. But if you want to rush straight into the EMOM, you can. You're just not going to get as much out of it, believe it or not. You might get an extra minute or 2 minutes, so 2 extra exercises, but you probably won't be doing them as well or with this heavier weight. So I would suggest waiting, resting, getting your heart rate down to an acceptable baseline again, and then we're going alternating deficit back lunges. So if you don't have a deficit, don't worry. I just always find that when I do deficit lunges, you smash your glutes, guaranteed. You can do this body weight, you can do this with a light weight, you can put on a weight vest, you can use dumbbells, you can hold a mace, whatever. 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. After those 20 seconds of rest, you go into single arm swings. 20 seconds of work on one hand, 20 seconds of work on the other, 20 seconds of rest. And when I start the single arm swing, if I remember, I aim to start on the side I finished on last time. Third, clean to curtsy lunge. You're going to do that for 20 seconds on one side and 20 seconds on the other. Finished finally with a hamstring curl, double foot or single. If it's single, 20 and 20. If it's double, 40 seconds. Or if you don't have a hamstring curl or a facility to do something similar, like using a skateboard, using sliders on a floor that sliders work on, using a towel if you're on a wooden floor or something like that, put your feet on a towel. This is 2 minutes of rest, 45 seconds left approximately. Or you can do this as a single leg RDL. I am fortunate enough to have a hamstring curl. So hamstring curl roller, heels go in here, lie on your back, and you've got your hamstring curls. So I'll be doing these. Starting with our deficit back lunge. So with the deficit back lunge, I think I'll be starting with a pair of 16s. Let's see how I go from there. Single arm swings, I will most likely use my 32. Pretty simple work and rest arrangement. 40 on, 20 off if you're doing single-sided stuff, or if you're doing double-sided stuff, or 20 and 20 if you're doing single-sided stuff with 20 seconds to recover. Okay, there's time. Breathing's recovered. We now start in 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee to the floor with control. We've got 40 seconds of work here. This is not about going as fast as you can. This is about movement quality, strong mind to muscle connection, and no rest during the working period, which, as I said, is 40 seconds. That's 20. Maybe 32 kilos for single arm swings with all of this is too much. That's what I'm thinking right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Clean curtsies. What do we think? 24 kilos? Should do. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, I did that totally wrong. Totally wrong. I miscounted my reps. I'll fix that next time. Couldn't quite see the timer. My apologies. Okay. Next is clean. It's a curtsy lunge. 5, 3, 1. Oh, this sucks. We're not here for a good time. It's a long time though. Here for a good time. Hard time. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't forget, you could be doing this as a single leg RDL or a slider, or if you really wanted to, a straight leg deadlift. The point here is we're doing hamstrings. Okay, round 1 done. Apologies again for the mistake with the swings. I'll be fixing that in this round. Legs feel like jelly. 3, 2, 1. Not much talking happening now. Two, 1. Oh, the legs are in bits. Five seconds, shit. 2, 1. Four, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Yeah. One more round, and then I'm going to crawl off into a corner and die somewhere. Sweat in the eyes. Let's go. Last round. It's those swings. They're the worst. Yeah. Four, 3, 2, 1. Oh God, my ass. Shit, 3, 2, 1. Not waving at you, by the way. My daughter just got home. Last interval. Oh, I missed the time again. 5, 4, 3, 2. That was tough. If you didn't find it this tough, you're either a beast or you didn't go heavy enough. And bear in mind that if you're at the point in your training or kettlebell journey that you are way stronger than your technique allows you for, so you could go heavier because you're strong enough, but couldn't because your form would break down to a point that would be dangerous, then get ready for crazy growth when you focus on your technique. If you focus fully on improving your technique, you'll be shifting weights so much heavier than you are now within no time. So that for me was a very decent leg workout. My legs are, as one of my clients would call them, shags now, shaky legs. After that EMOM, my glutes and hamstrings especially are smashed, and after the main set, my quads found failure. And all over, after the warm-up, this has been a pretty rough push in terms of cardio too. So checking a lot of boxes here. So that's all from me today. You've got other workouts on the compact razor. Check them out. They all require you to work damn hard, because if you're only training for half an hour, you better push and get the most out of it. I don't know if I can stand. See you at the next workout.